Hi everyone! Welcome to Connect and Thrive Live. I'm Crystal Hobbs of Reflective Marketing, and every week we bring in entrepreneurs and experts to help you grow and have a thriving business. And today, I have Melanie Crocker, the owner of RubyRose Beauty Bar, and that's where we are today. We're on location. So, Melanie, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Maybe you could start by telling us a little bit about how you started RubyRose.
Okay. Well, first of all, I have to say thanks for the heads up in me being the week after Kim Padden. So, fellow Enloe Entrepreneur of the Year here, and killer brand, and social media guru, so it's not a tough act to follow at all. Thank you.
Yeah. We don't compare ourselves to other guests.
Well, when they're rock stars, it's a little hard. But anyway, I'll try to do my best.
Yeah.
But so a little bit about my business. I was a beauty service client my whole life. Probably started a little too young. And I was in public relations and marketing and communications for a long time, for the better part of my career. And just decided at one point recently, I don't know if I'm a cliche or not, but I ended up having 2 kids, and then I turned 40. And then I felt like I had sort of checked out in my job, and I thought, I have to do something different. Having kids was actually it was a game changer for me. And being on maternity leave, I had a lot of time to sit and reflect, and met a lot of women and talked to a lot of women who were lonely, who were in a bit of a rough place. And so I knew that I wanted to combine, when I started a new business, I wanted to combine my love of the beauty industry and beauty products and beauty services with a place where women who were in the same kind of boat as me, who were tired, who were overworked, could go and enjoy themselves. And, whether you had a beauty service or not, it didn't really matter. You just had somewhere to go and hang out. So that's what I did.
Awesome. Can we pump you down a little?
Sure. Might you tell?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I know. We're making it work here.
There we go.
It's good. So you came from, obviously, a background in PR, communications, marketing. How do you think that has helped you in the beauty business?
I think it's helped me in that, of course, the key when you're doing communications or marketing or anything is to know your audience. And I am my audience. So I thought to myself, what would I respond to? What would I be attracted to? Where would I want to go? Right. So I base all of my communications and all of my marketing and all of my, social media on messaging that speaks to me, and will then therefore attract the same kinds of people. Right. And it was just a really good, solid background to have, just in terms of basic writing skills and editing and things like that. So, it's really helped me mostly just in speaking to my market and getting my message out to exactly who I want to target.
Right. Yeah, and I always use RubyRose as a great example of a brand that knows who their audience is. So
yeah, it's me.
You've done a fabulous job.
I am my market.
Awesome. So I see we have a few people watching here. So we have Amanda and Brittany and Chels. Go ahead and say hi if you're watching. Yeah. I know there's some others on here. And if you know someone who might benefit from listening to this, go ahead and hit the share button there below. So, Melanie, what does it mean to you to have an authentic brand?
I think, from a personal perspective, it's just going with your gut. People are going to criticize, people are going to give you advice, and that's fine. You can listen to it. That's cool. But don't let it distract you. Yeah. My biggest thing is I've come to a point where I know exactly how I want my business to look. I know the message I want to get across to people, and I just go with what feels right in my heart and in my gut. You know, I feel like so many, especially in the beauty industry, you know, you go into a store and someone's trying to sell you something, and for so many people it feels just about commission to them, you know. Right. Whereas for us, what we do, what we sell, we truly love, we truly believe in it, we've tried it, we're doing it for the same reasons that you're doing it. So I feel like our personal stories resonate with people. So, you know, it's just about going with what you love and what feels right.
Yeah.
Is, you know, and people can detect that. They can detect when you really love what you're talking about and you know what you're talking about and you can associate with them. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've gone into a store and a girl or a guy who I have nothing in common with is trying to relate to me and sell me something, and I'm just like, you don't get me, you know. But, you know, we, again, in terms of our market, we get you. We get our market. And that's, you know, that's why I think authenticity is so important. You know, and also just shining a light on real life. Yes, we're a beauty bar, but there are bad days. We all have really bad days. We're human. You know, I always say I own a beauty bar, but a lot of times you can't tell. Because of how I look in public many a day. I have 2 small children, you know, I don't always have time to do my hair. Yeah. But, you know, at the end of the day, I try to make time to do this sort of stuff, and I love it. And, you know, it's just about being yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that bigger message that you have and everything that you're doing about taking care of yourself and how important that is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people will do the talk about self-care and stuff like that. And to me, I still feel like self-care gets tossed around a lot as an expression. It's a bit fluffy to me, and sometimes it feels a little bit like a justification or maybe a bit patronizing. Sure. You know, my message is, if you work and if you make money and if you're taking care of kids and you want to do this, do it. Yeah. Don't say it's about self-care. Say it's about me spending my money on myself for once, you know?
Yeah.
So that's, you know, yes, self-care is a great thing and it's very important and you shouldn't give up on yourself. But, you know, a lot of it just comes down to, hey, listen, I work hard. A lot of my money goes towards spending things on a lot of other people, and I'm reserving this little bit to do something I want to do. And whether it's buying shoes, whether it's getting a manicure, whether it's going for a drink, whatever, you know, it's self-care, great, but it's also just about doing what you want to do.
Absolutely. And for those of you watching, I'm just curious, if you get some sort of beauty service monthly, comment yes below or no if you don't. Just like to get a sense of things. And the comments aren't coming up on my phone, so I may occasionally look over here. So Shanna says, hi ladies, happy Friday. Got Amanda says hi. Chell says, makeup is on point. Great highlight.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
Too funny.
So yeah, Melanie, I think we've talked about this a little bit, but I'd like to dive deeper into what do you think makes RubyRose different, and how did you go about setting your business apart in the beauty world?
Okay, so there are two things that I think sets us apart. One thing is just sort of our acceptance of people who perhaps don't have a lot of background or information on beauty services and beauty products. And this comes from me having a lot of conversations, again, while I was on mat leave, with some moms who were like, oh, I'd love to go to this salon, but, you know, I'm afraid to go in there because I'm going to look like an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about. And so here you can forget that. Don't worry about looking like an idiot. We look like idiots all the time, no matter what, you know, in certain aspects of our life. So the first thing is, don't worry about looking like an idiot. So that's the one thing. Very, like, we're an oasis of acceptance, I like to say. But yeah, so that's one thing. Don't worry. You know, there are lots of things I don't know, even in this industry, you know, so don't be afraid to ask questions. So that's the one thing. The other thing too, that I think sets us apart is the accessibility factor. So I always tell the story of, you know, when I lived in Toronto for several years, you could get, you know, a pedicure on every corner for 20 bucks. Now I know that we're not Toronto. I know we're far from it. I know we don't have the same big market, but I found it crazy when I moved home that certain beauty services that I used to take part in all the time were triple and quadruple that price. And this was before I had kids. I had a good income, and I still couldn't justify that. So the other thing too was when I was on maternity leave, this was the kind of stuff that I wanted to do, but you're getting mat leave pay, you can't justify it. Right. So I thought, I'm going to try and build our pricing around what I feel is reasonable as a hardworking woman, so that I could justify it. I'm not trying to go to war with anybody who charges $100 for a pedicure. We all have our reasons for why we have to do that. I've built the business and designed it in a way that I can make the prices accessible to people. Yeah. So that was our other differentiator. Yeah, and I think just also too, there's, we're a beauty bar, but we don't focus on the importance of beauty. We focus more on the importance of just being real and doing what you like.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. For those of you watching, if you have a question for Melanie, go ahead and put it in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer that live. So Chelsea said that massage therapy has been a savior for her. So that's one of the monthly things she does for herself.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I see we have Patty and Kathleen and Jordan. Great to see you guys on here. So Melanie, I know local partnerships have been like a real passion for you and something you've tried to do in your business. Could you share maybe a tip or two on how other people could go about developing partnerships with local businesses?
Yeah, you have to look at what's out there and what makes the most sense in terms of a partnership. A big thing for me when I'm going about picking a partner is, after some observation, their values. That's a huge thing for me. So seeing, where they invest their money, who they target, their messaging to their clients, that's a really big thing for me. And of course also their product has to make sense as something that we partner with. Right. So that's why we do go for a lot of local beauty product makers, and a lot of women-run businesses, because again, we're about supporting not only women but men as well, but just people who are giving back to the community. So, and we truly want to promote other local businesses and see them thrive. So, the biggest thing for me is, are they a fit in terms of their product, and does it make sense for us to partner with them here? And their values. Do they send the same kind of message? Is their brand in line with ours? And is that something that we want to be associated with? So those are the big things. Yeah. So
when it comes to audience, do you look for like a direct fit or like a complementary? How do you go about that? Does it depend, I guess? It
really depends. I mean, for the most part, we're a direct fit. But, sometimes it's a complementary fit, if it's, say, a local product, a local company that makes men's, grooming products, that's great because through, messaging to them, they can tell their wives about us, So it's more direct, but sometimes it can be a complementary fit. You never know. It's the weirdest connections. The weirdest connections will come up.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, wow, yeah, I never thought of that. Like, what a great team we would make, Right. So, and I think there's something fun too about pairing together two businesses that on the surface have nothing to do with each other, but it's like, oh, wait a minute, it's like, somebody used this example with me the other day, Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
But actually it was Jenny Smith who told me about that. We were talking about what a funny pairing that was.
Yeah.
But that's amazing, Yeah. So sometimes it's a fit and you didn't even realize. But, for the most part, it is about, values and just making sure that their product is sort of in line with what we do. And their product, appeals to our market as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, Melanie, where can we find out more about RubyRose?
Well, we are pretty busy on social media. So we have our Facebook page, RubyRose Beauty Bar. We have our Instagram. We have a website, RubyRoseBeautyBar.com. And you can also come visit us at 134 Water Street, second floor, right across from the new Alt Hotel. We're here. We're, always waiting to see the lovely faces come through the door. So yeah, we're all over the place.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we will post a couple links below. And Melanie, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And be sure to check back every Friday. Thank all of you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.